Wes Streeting has resigned from Keir Starmer's cabinet, but notably, he hasn't launched a leadership bid. At least not yet. So, why? Because this looks less like a failed coup and more like a politician trying to keep his options open.
If I'm honest, I went back to my old secondary school last week and one of my teachers helpfully reminded me that in his first lesson as a teacher at the school, I'd said I really need to get good grades to go to university so I could be Prime Minister.
Streeting is one of Labour's most ambitious figures and has long been seen as a potential future leader.
The Health Secretary has been a bit distracted lately, hasn't he? Yeah, hasn't he? Yeah. He's chuntering now. Why don't you just do your job? Do your job.
But resigning from the cabinet and actually moving against a sitting Prime Minister are two very different things. The reality is that launching a leadership challenge is incredibly risky, especially if you can't guarantee enough support from MPs or confidence from the wider party membership. Right now, Streeting may simply believe the timing isn't quite there. Instead, this move allows him to distance himself from Starmer. At a moment when pressure on the Prime Minister is growing, while avoiding the danger of a direct challenge that could fail and damage his future prospects. In other words, he can position himself as part of the conversation around Labour's future without fully owning the consequences of a leadership battle. There's also the question of what comes next. Outside the cabinet, Streeting now has more freedom to speak publicly, shape debate inside the party and build support among MPs and members alike. If Starmer's position weakens further, he's now in a position to move quickly. But there's another possibility too, that Streeting doesn't ultimately want to be the person to pull the trigger himself.
I will not be challenging the Prime Minister at the budget or at any other time.
So you do have ambitions to be Prime Minister?
I'm not giving this story any more legs or any more news lines. I think it is silly Westminster bubble nonsense.
By stepping aside now, he leaves room for a broader leadership contest to emerge, potentially involving other senior Labour figures, such as Andy Burnham or Ed Miliband, while still keeping himself firmly in the mix. So while this may look like a resignation, politically it could be something else entirely. A positioning exercise for whatever comes next.